Are you really going to talk to my kids here in a couple of years about sex and puberty and all that kind of stuff?
Yes, I am. Because I want children to know who reliable sources of information are. And our children are going to learn about these things at school. And either we set the precedent that it is your parents and your pediatrician that are going to give you the correct information, or we're going to rely on TikTok and Instagram and your friends at school. And so I just think we're establishing the precedent of where reliable information comes from. And as a parent and as a pediatrician, we can relay that information in a developmentally appropriate way that takes some of the mystery out of it and takes some of the stress out of it. Yes, I'm going to have that conversation.
How do you segue into with a family?
Yeah, I'll sometimes say, you're at an age or it's time for us to start talking about some of those uncomfortable and embarrassing subjects, and don't ask these questions to kind of pry into your personal life, but more than anything, I just want to know that you feel like you can ask your parents or give us when you start talking about sex.
A lot of times when I'm having these talks, I like to actually use this as an opportunity to cheerlead for the parents too. To say, hey, it's time, you can do this, all this. But then also use that as a segue to the child to say, hey, believe it or not, your parent might know a few things about this stuff. Yeah. They made it to functional adulthood in theory, and they want you to. Mm-hmm. And so I really think it's important because if we don't kind of bring those conversations, then it's hard to take that step with your kids. I know I've got to do it here very soon, and we've started a little bit, but it's sometimes it's good to have someone be there to say, all right, it's time. One of the things a lot of times I like to do before my family is to say, okay, this is not a one-time talk. So maybe you start with some easy stuff, kind of hit some singles. We can talk about good decision making. And then as we get comfortable talking to our kids about real stuff, then we can get into some of that, stuff that may be a little bit more challenging for some people to talk to. And so, talking to our kids is a life skill as much as anything else in parenting, and you got to practice that too.